Hello, everyone. It's me again. It's Thursday morning. I am a little bit late, but I'm trying my best. It's a lot going on in my life right now. And I was thinking what topic to choose for today, what to talk with you. And I decided to talk about my road to control, to take control over the situation and over my life. So I want to begin with one moment, a moment in therapy when I understood very, very clearly, no one will save me. That was not easy thought. It was not a pleasant discovery, but it was a moment of truth. No fairy godmother show up. Shocking, I know. I understood then that I am alone. In the most important sense, no one will walk this path for me. No one will get my life back for me. No one will learn the language of this system for me if I do not do it myself. And that was when I stopped waiting for things to fix themselves. I know, very optimistic plan, of course. Reality said no.
No.
But in the 21st century, everyone has access to informations. I had it too. Phone in the hand, internet, ability to read, check, compare. So basically, house but with Wi-Fi. I also had experience. I used to work as a public official in Poland when I was younger. So I knew the administrative way of thinking from inside. That gave me a starting point. I stood before choice. I can stay hopeless and be sorry for myself. Or I could start acting step by step. I choose action because apparently I enjoy the hard mode. So I started with municipality's decision. I wanted to check whether what was written there really matched what follows from law. Was the decision consistent with administration law, case law, and victim protection principles? To my huge surprise,
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
I noticed differences between the law and the decision that was hard for me to ignore. And there was nothing there about victim rights. A masterpiece of mission. By then, I already had access also to the migration office files. I could see how municipality described my case. And that became actually an important source of future analysis. I started reading everything in order, every letter, every answer, every part of the files. So yes, my new hobby became paperwork archaeology. I already had some knowledge from my work background because I knew how officials work, and how administrative documentary or documents are usually written. That is why some of the things I saw surprised me a lot and make me ask more questions, of course. Because apparently bureaucratic poetry is a thing. It was not easy translating letters, laws, judgments one by one and making notes. It was a foreign system and a language I didn't know. A lovely combination, truly relaxing. At first untranslated from German into English, but very, very quickly understood that Polish was more precise for me. Even when I use AI for some tasks, I knew I had to be extremely careful and to read everything very, very, very closely. Because trusting the machine blindly would have been a premium grade disaster that we all know. I checked everything again and again to avoid mistakes and AI hallucinations. Yes, the machines can be confident and wrong at the same time. A very human talent, apparently. When the first letter was ready, I faced another struggle. Send it or not? After all, these were colleagues of my abuser. Lovely atmosphere. Zero red flags. What in the German translation was not good enough? What if I missed something? In foreign country and foreign system? Easy. The Confederation wasn't not the same to me as the system I knew from Poland or Ireland, democratic ones. It was something new, foreign, and requiring full concentration. Not exactly a weekly hobby. We do not like leaving our comfort zone. No, no. Even in normal circumstances. And what about after trauma? With diagnosis and during the treatment, total upgrade, nobody asked for. And what about when my daughter and I were going through very difficult experiences connected with investigations and each new interrogation, very new questioning sessions, surprise content, no warnings. That was enormous stress. But the most painful thing for me was watching my daughter, Paula, seeing how hard it was for her to find her place, how quickly she had to grow up, how she was left alone among her peers, marked by experience, while trying at the same time to erase the burden from her memory, from her life, and live normally. But all what was there was sleepless nights, flashbacks, lack of understanding, and difficulty communicating with other peers of hers. It was more stronger and stronger mark left on her. Because trauma does not exactly respect schedules. And that gave me strength because I knew I could not stop. I took the first step, the second, the third one. No dramatic soundtrack. Just present by sleep. By just presence and bad sleep. I waited. I read the replies. I learned patiently. This fight lasts for months and brought no results. Such much effort, so little applause. I was not able to defend my rights in the first stage of the proceedings, so I had to cross another comfort zone and make decision. Go on or not? If I went on, I took financial risks, but time was running out. Nothing says fun like urgency and legal costs. In the end, I crossed another barrier, and again came failure. And again another comfort zone, and again another question. Do we go to the federal court or not? So in the very short period of the time, I already had several proceedings because every request to municipality for additional help, as such help was needed, because of course what we received was not enough, not in Switzerland. Everything what we asked for ended in refusal. A very creative way to say no repeatedly. So I took the decision. I read, I analyzed, and I went deeper and deeper into social law. I felt that the case I was dealing with was not just the abstraction. In the background, there was the person accused of very, very serious acts, including attempt of murder and chemical and sexual violence. So this was not a light read before bed. This is why the word marked seemed right to describe what life looked like after all that. The 1 year of learning passed quickly like that. A year of crossing barriers, disappointments and falls. Year of very intensive work, long hours, days, weeks, months. Basically full-time job without wages. And a side dish of suffering. And on top of that, I was also translating, of course, the criminal case files in German, from German. And they were not small files, of course not. Why would they be? I was also learning criminal law issues. My home archive of files was bursting at the seams and still is. True paper ecosystem. But in that chaos, I began learning from the best officials in Canton, from their legal strategies, from the way the system works, from the logic of the letters I received from officials. An appeal to federal court is a challenge, even for a lawyer, and I was a layperson. Even though I had university education, so yes, the odds were admirable. Still, I began learning legal strategies and how to use them by analyzing exactly what came to me from the offices. It was not easy. It was road through suffering. Believe me, huge suffering, translation, understanding, grasping around what was written there. Yeah, the administrative labyrinths. You had to understand letters, legal provisions, instead that was saying not clearly what actually mean. It was just bureaucratic sport. Say everything and nothing at the same time. You had to know that letter must be in German if it is to be accepted for review. You had to be able to handle all of this on your own. There was no money for subscriptions. No, believe me, no, there was no money. There were no shortcuts, no premium mode, no cheat codes either, no long hours at the computer and hyper-focus. Hours of hyper-focus. That was burning out the last remains of dopamine and adrenaline in my brain. Then came the price for it. 3 days of migraine. Very efficient system, you know. Would not recommend, by the way. That state of total focus cut me off from outside world for so long that even my own daughter had no access to me during that moment. But we both knew why I was doing it. And now those months of strategy training are finally bringing results. Because when an office make a proposal, for example, I immediately see what their motive may be. When the minister apologizes, I see empty words forced by public opinion with nothing behind them. Apologies sometimes come with excellent timing and very poor substance. That does not mean I know everything now and I am Alpha and Omega. It only means that I've learned to read mechanisms. And that is the difference. Because when you stop looking only at words and start looking at structure, repetition, and logic of action, you begin to regain control. And that is where my path began. In the end, I was placed in a situation where I had no choice and nothing left to lose. So once again, I crossed my own comfort zone and I contacted the media. Not because I wanted conflict or fame, but because I saw as the only way to defend myself and finally make my voice heard. And I am a very lucky person because it was possible only because in the background it's huge case. Okay, guys, I think that's enough for today. I hope to see you with next video on weekend. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye.